The Path Unmarked, Volume 1, Adventures of Catella Avonlea. Images flashed vibrant, yet still gave no hint at their meaning. I woke amidst the familiar confusion I had come to expect. My eyes fluttered open as I lay quietly at the base of a tall elm tree next to a babbling creek. It had only been 3 days since I had set out on my unknown journey. I quietly wondered how long I'd be gone and where this path would take me. I brushed away the same leaves that I had nestled into the night before, and I crawled over to the creek to wash my face. I paused and gazed a moment at my reflection in the cool water below. My hair haphazardly strewn all around my shoulders. I giggled to myself, thinking that maybe I should leave it that way. Surely, no creature, great or small, would want to mess with the likes of me in my current state. Instead, however, I crawled back to my makeshift camp, and I pulled a comb and 2 pale green hair ties from my satchel. It was my hope to locate some kind of town in which I could trade a few things for supplies. I should at least look somewhat presentable in case I found what I was looking for. I would have to make myself familiar with this area, as something was telling me I needed to be here. I don't understand what exactly or why, and I had no idea how long this mysterious calling would continue. It had successfully pulled me from the life I knew, hinting and begging me to leave my home. I don't understand it, and it's still too much to be able to explain. Which was part of the reason my mother was so distraught when I announced my decision. I couldn't convey to her why, because I didn't yet know myself. I had not disappointed her this much since my confirmation, when I had chosen to follow Zyma as my principal deity over her own Altheic. My father reassured her at the time that Zyma, being the goddess of inquiry, fit me perfectly. I miss my father. I just hope that she'll forgive me, if ever I'm allowed to return. In her concern, she gave me her old weathered cane and a small tome of conjury. From it, she taught me a few small spells to help protect me on my journey, but instructed me to keep studying from it, as she was sure I was nowhere near ready to take on whatever it was that I felt I must. Once my reflection was no longer as scary, I rose and peered out over my camp. I quickly collected my belongings, including a few sprigs of lavender I had found near the tree. They were nice specimens, probably would make a decent amount of oil, so I may be able to trade them. If I could not, they would at least infuse my satchel with a lovely fragrance. I carefully placed them in my bag and continued walking further down the path I had followed the night before. A strange feeling came over me, and I heard an oddly familiar voice whisper 3 words: hear, feel, think. I looked about, and I was still alone as far as I could tell. With that, the sky grew dark, and an all too familiar image of balls of flame came rushing down from the sky above. The centered light intensified until I couldn't bear to gaze at it any longer, and I shielded myself from it. However, as quickly as it came, it was gone, revealing the same morning sky that had been there before. It was episodes like this that had undoubtedly assured me I needed to go. I didn't feel as though I had lost my senses, yet there it was, the normal sky, literally plain as day, with no trace of what I had just witnessed. In my desire to find some sign to let me know what I had seen had been real, I noticed a craft of some sort in the sky. A small pod seemed to break off and crash toward Heidelin below. It landed some 30 yalms from where I had been standing, so I ran towards it to see what remained. To be continued.